here is a t-test question, and we can see that from the question. We have two groups of data, or two sets of data. One is for the place in Gamlistan, and the other one is the place Nihilistan. And he's thinking that the second one, Nihilistan, is warmer than the first one, and then we have the temperatures here. So it says that he uses the samples to carry out a test. Because we have two different samples, we know that it is a two-sampled t-test, and we need to state the null and the alternate hypothesis. So for the null hypothesis of a t-test, it is always the same, and that is that the two means are equal to each other. Now it's up to you how you want to label them, what you want to call them. I'm going to call this one G and this one N. You may want to call it A and B, 1 and 2, it's up to you. But therefore, the mean of G is equal to the mean of N. You can also say, let mean G be mean of, and so on and so on. And then the second hypothesis is the alternate hypothesis, so H1. And on this one, he is thinking that, as we said earlier, the N for us is warmer. So therefore, we're going to write that as the mean of G is cooler than the mean of N. So the mean of N is the warmer one. So that is 2 marks, and it's just 1 mark for each of your hypotheses that you got correct. And then the second question is to calculate the p-value for the test. So we know to do that, we need to go to our GDC. So we're going to go to Statistics and Edit, and I've input here the 2 sets of data. So you would just type them in. And then we're going to go back to Statistics. We're going to go across to Tests, and we have 2 sample t-test. We have the data given to us, and it will always be data in the IB SLAI. The first list is in list 1, and the second list is in list 2. If for some reason that was incorrect, then you can go to second function, list, and you can pick which list it would be. The only thing we need to change here is the mean for the alternate hypothesis, and we decided that it should be this one here. So the second one is bigger than the first one, and this is my first column, this is my second column. We always make sure that pooled is this yes, and then we are going to go down and calculate. And we can see there that the p-value is equal to, and to 3 significant figures there. It is 0.9622. Okay, so that is 9.62%. And this last question, part C of the question is to state the conclusion for the test. So we're told that we were doing it at a 10% significance level. So given that 10%, or the p-value, the 9.62%, is smaller than the significance level. So 9.62% is less than the 10% significance level. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis and we accept the alternate hypothesis. And then we need to state 2 assumptions that were needed for this test to be conducted, for the t-test. There are a few different things you can mention here. The first thing is that they should always be normally distributed. So both data sets or samples we assume are normally distributed. If they have like a symmetrical distribution, then we can use a t-test. You should also make the assumption that there are no outliers. And if you were doing a t-test in an IA, for example, you should be checking or showing these things are true. And also that the data is continuous. So any of those things would be good to mention. And it is 2 marks, 1 mark for each of the statements that you make that is correct.